Peace and love is Jai Divine. I'm going to have a conversation with myself about gender roles, masculine and feminine energy, men, women, that perspective. Because I've seen a lot of podcasts, interviews, videos, people just talking about, the role of men and women. And okay, listen, y'all, surprise. What do they call it? Plot twist. What men and women do in society has changed throughout history based on what the culture needed. Now, there's some things that are biological, like having babies, nurturing. That right there is the role of a woman because that is what nature made her body to do. However, in society, sometimes when things are out of alignment with nature, the very things that people were designed to do, the very things that women were designed to do, their bodies were designed to do, becomes a burden or becomes something less than because it's patriarchy. So, of course, they're going to devalue what women were naturally born to do or born able to do. Okay. So, that's one thing. Culture is going to change what the actual gender roles or male female roles are. Um, so, to have conversations about that, it's kind of silly because it's going to change. So you're never going to reach people by saying what their particular role is in society because that's not going to touch them on a spiritual level because nothing about social roles, societal roles are spiritual. That is based in the 3D. Hell, if all we do is farm, then everybody's going to get out and fucking farm. If we build houses, then everyone is going to have to learn how to build houses if that's what we need. If it means men and women need to all be hands on deck and children, then that's what you do. If not, you got enough to swing it or whatever. It's just going to be the men, or the men going to do something else, and the women going to take care. It all of that shit is irrelevant. You do a society, a culture, a tribe does whatever needs to be done. It's not about women can't or men can't, female, male can't do certain things. So if we're really trying to bring some cohesion back into the male female dynamic and finding balance in our roles in society, we're gonna have to come at it from a spiritual angle to actually touch people, to actually get them to change or to actually motivate them, inspire them to feel it on the inside that there needs to be a change. Because here's an example. I just talked about men or women supposed to, having babies. That's what our bodies are designed to be able to do. However, if you go deeper into spiritually, actually being a mother is a lot of masculine energy too because you're constantly giving. You're constantly giving, but we're naturally the receivers. We're not naturally feminine energy. And if we're talking about women, the female as the representation, the bodily representation of feminine energy, then we're supposed to be receiving. In sex, we are the receivers. However, that's why there's, a woman, everybody is both masculine and feminine, but a woman has a higher call to master both traits because we also give because feminine energy is the source of masculine energy. So feminine energy in itself is both masculine and feminine. All right, we won't go there. But a woman constantly giving to her children puts her in a more masculine energy because she is not receiving, she is the giver. And so then the father if he wants to keep his woman in a feminine energy, has to be ready to give to her, to let her know and remind her that she is the receiver. If we want men and women to be in their natural roles, then we have to balance the energies, not the roles, not the jobs, not that you have to balance the energy. So if you want a woman to stay in a feminine energy, she must be receiving. However, you need to, whatever, however you can get energy from yourself to her. If you want a woman to be in a feminine energy, then she needs to be receiving. That is the nature of feminine energy. And if you want someone to be in a masculine energy, then they will need to give. The penis gives, the vagina receives. Start with the energies, because a lot of the things that um, men expect women to do, as far as with the catering and the submissiveness, is actually putting her in her masculine energy. To always be giving, it's like having another child. To always be giving and not receiving, or not even always, to be doing more giving than receiving, will put a woman in her masculine energy, because that is a masculine energy. That's it. It's nothing deep. So when we start to have these conversations, it is about balancing the energies. So while you may say in your culture, or in the culture that you're building or you want in your house, in your home, you may want, it to be traditionally the woman cleans up, takes care of the children, takes care of the house, and the man goes out and brings stuff, resources back to the home. He still must actively give energy, because most likely, while a man is out collecting resources, the woman is only giving throughout the day. If you have children, she's just giving, 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 being very much in her masculine energy. Now nurturing, and there is an aspect of feminine energy in it also, but giving, 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 giving. Man comes home, wants what? More giving, 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 giving. When does the woman receive to be put back into the feminine energy? That's what we're talking about. Is balancing energies. And then on the flip side, if you want a man to be in his masculine energy, then yes, he's going to have to produce. He's going to have to be about action. There's going to have to be some resources being gained, found, extracted, whatever. He's going to have to be able to give something. Emotional support is one place you can give. There are many ways to give energy. Emotional support, just understanding, listening. Just think of all the things you expect a woman to do all the time. A mother, a good mother, to do. Because a good mother is very giving. Be that, embody those things, and give that to the woman who you want to be in her feminine energy. If you want to encourage women to be more feminine, then the men have to do. And if the women want to encourage the men to be more masculine, then they must require that the men do give. That's it. It's simple. Start talking about balancing energies and stop getting caught up on what social norms are right now and what the debate is about outside of outside. we're moving on to higher ways of functioning, higher levels of thinking. We're putting the spiritual back into everything and making the spiritual the foundation of everything. So we don't have to have silly debates because one way or another, once two people come together, or how many ever people, you are a essentially one. You're a unit. It's a tribe. So whatever needs to be done, however it needs to get done, will get done. But if you want people to be in a certain energy, then you have to learn how to balance it and work in those energies. That's it. That's it. So even when when we're telling women to shoot their shot, you're putting women in their masculine energy, and that means that the male is sitting back and receiving. So you're in your feminine energy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have people. We need to be very aware of what we're encouraging by the culture and things that we're taking part in. So, women, if you want to live a life where you're going to be in your feminine energy, then you can't be out here chasing because that means any male that takes you chasing is in his feminine energy, which means what? You gonna have to be in your masculine energy. So, men, if you want a woman who's gonna be in her feminine energy, then any woman that is coming at you, she is going to be in her masculine energy. She is using masculine energy. Now, there might be some women, there are some women that might be able to turn it off, trade it, and whatever, but as a general rule, if the woman is coming at you, she's in her masculine energy. If you're looking for a woman who's going to be in her feminine energy, then you're going to have to go pursue a woman who's in her feminine energy, in the energy of receiving. Now, what she thinks she should receive and what you give, that's between y'all. That's some social stuff. I'll let y'all figure that out. But balancing the spiritual energies is what's key to keeping people in certain energies, to developing a culture and society where women are mostly in their feminine energy and men are in their masculine energy, if that's your goal. We're allowed to have goals and create cultures around what we want to see in our society within our tribe. That is allowed. That's a part of the fun part about being coming down to this bitch, coming to being Earth, is you get to play with these principles and you get to play with programming because this is a matrix. You get to play with programs and you get to. We're in the Sims, y'all. So we get to play. What is it, Minecraft? Well, all of that. We are playing with the programming. So whatever it is that you want your society to look like, you have to balance those energies on a spiritual level. And then once people are in the energy and there's a balance between the energies, what manifests from them will be in that same balance. How they'll put together culture and life will be in that balance because that's the foundation of it. So we're building top down, which is not, that is an original people culture to build top down. Westernized thinking, as they call it, it's everything is bottom up, physical to the spiritual, which has its place and there's a time, but we can also build top down. So that's what we're doing. If you play with the spiritual energies and find that balance, anything that manifests from that energy will be in that balance. As opposed to building bottom up, you're kind of just seeing. If you're building from culture, you're building from ego, essentially. You're building from ego. How that plays up into the spiritual world, I mean, you could figure it out easily, but most people aren't thinking about that. As they're building from the bottom, they're not thinking about what they're creating on the spiritual level. Because as above, so below. So whatever you're building here, you are creating it in the spiritual level too. And is that what you want to create? So that's why we start top down. What do you want to create spiritually? What energies are you looking to balance? And then you let that manifest instead of trying to go the other way. Or not. It's your life. We came here to learn. So maybe you have a lesson in learning doing it the other way. But just bringing some spiritual foundation to the conversation so that we can come out of the debate mode about men, women, and how they need to relate or how they should relate, and like, not here for it. But balancing energy on a spiritual level, connecting spiritually, I'm here for that. I'm here for all of that. Peace and love.